Hello and welcome to Breakfast All Day. I'm Christy and that is Matt. And that jingle jangle you hear in the background is Sabrina.
Exactly.
She is here today with us, hanging out. We're going to play catch up now with a great little indie that came out, I think, last week. I want to say August 23rd, but it's platforming. It is called Brittany Runs a Marathon, and it stars Jillian Bell. Matt, what's it about?
Jillian Bell plays this woman, Brittany. She's in her late 20s in New York, and she's, kind of flailing about in life, kind of directionless, has a job, but doesn't take it all that seriously. And she's got friends that, seem to be more together than she is. And she goes to the doctor, and the doctor says that she is obese. And she decides that she's going to start running and kind of haphazardly joins the running group that her neighbor is part of and gets inspired to actually run a whole marathon. And the movie covers her year of training for that and the kind of changes she goes through as she, the training for the marathon forces kind of a change in her lifestyle. Because she's not only running daily, she's eating differently, and that makes a huge, and this is a lot of it is in service to get to a goal weight that the doctor has said, but it changes it forces a lot of changes in her life, and including, a new job and a kind of love interest. And it's an interesting movie. I thought this movie I was pretty impressed with this. A terrific performance from Jillian Bell.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for her to show some range. I think when we think of her for like really out there comic performances, like in like 22 Jump Street, that kind of thing.
Right.
And this allows her to really show a lot of depth. This resonated with me on so many levels as somebody who has fought my weight for much of my life. As somebody who stopped drinking a year and a half ago and knowing what kind of Sabrina's wandering around the house, knowing what kind of changes, she can't go anywhere. The doors are all closed. She can wander the hallways randomly. So I stopped drinking a year and a half ago, and a lot of it was like I was unhappy with my body. I was unhappy with, being hungover, losing entire Sundays, having my kids see me hungover. And so to reach a point where you are just totally sick of yourself and you have to make these massive changes, this film depicts in ways that are never mawkish and are really understated and really true. And I was very impressed by that. It's a tough thing to pull off and to also be funny with it. Jillian Bell still gets to be funny. She still gets to be bawdy and brash and weird and self-deprecating, but...
Right. And one of the things this movie does really well is you see her use her humor as a defense. Mm-hmm. And that gets covered. She says at one point, like, oh, I'm the funny, the movie leads, like one of the first things that happens is she's out at some club with her two really pretty friends. And one of them says, oh, and you'll always be the funniest person I know. Mm-hmm. And you see like, that's armor she puts on. Mm-hmm.
It's safe.
It's safe. And you see throughout the movie, like one of the things she does constantly is she puts on this British accent. When she's making a joke about something, when she gets uncomfortable, she puts on this Brit voice that, one particular person calls her on. And she like all but runs screaming from the room when that happens. So it's I thought this movie was really perceptive and it catches a lot of how people around her start treating her differently as she starts losing weight. And it's not just the weight loss, like you see her carrying herself with more confidence. And that's where I think it was this really sharp performance from Jillian Bell, having gone through something similar. Like there was a lot of that in this that really resonated for me. Mm-hmm. And how the people you hang with, and as you change your habits, like it can be harder, like her roommate at the beginning of the movie, like is still out clubbing all the time and partying all the time. And you see that like, how much to that relationship is there? Beyond
just the fact that they used to go out and like get hammered together. Right. And she and the best friend reveals herself increasingly as just being, vapid and selfish and not a good friend at all. And so she comes to realize, that she deserves better friends is the important realization that she comes to, is that she's she's better than that, and she hadn't been giving herself credit for that, for demanding the best in people who she surrounds herself with. She forms this really, really great friendship with Michaela Watkins' character, and that's an interesting exploration too, as far as like, judging somebody based on their appearance, right? Because Michaela Watkins is a runner and is serious about it and is really dedicated to it, and so. Brittany and her roommate assign all kinds of, characteristics to this woman based on her regimented dedication to running. And they have no idea what all is going on beneath the surface. And so that friendship is really nice. And I also wanted to mention Utkarsh Ambudkar, who is the guy that she...
Jern.
Jern, who she shares the house sitting duties with. This is the gig that she finally finds for herself.
Right.
And that relationship and how that evolves is really unexpected and cool.
I thought that was terrific. I thought that was really cool in that he is presented as this kind of like flawed but still chill and grounded character, and it becomes he, along with a lot of other characters, including her brother-in-law, played by Demetrius, played by Lil Rel Howery.
Lil Rel Howery.
Lil Rel Howery.
It's so hard to say.
Thanks, Lil Rel.
He's also the dad in Good Boys, we should mention.
Yeah, I thought that, without being really mawkish about it, without being real obvious, like you can see how, because of the way she's gone through life and worried about her appearance and her weight, she's built up this defense mechanism that doesn't allow for anyone to fulfill any role but the role that she expects them to play, right? And she expects to be rejected, and she expects to be treated badly, and she expects to be looked down on and pitied. And when someone doesn't do that to her, there's part of her that seems to kind of almost force them back into that.
Right.
Like she can't handle, like she doesn't know how to act otherwise.
I think she doesn't deserve it.
Right. I mean, among other things, but it's also, yes, she doesn't think she can deserve it, but she's also like, she's so used to playing that role. She doesn't know any other way. And you see that play out with Jern a lot. And I really like the way that played out over the course of the movie.
Yeah, it's unexpected, that path that their relationship takes. It's a really great supporting cast, and there is an actual Brittany.
Yes.
Who ran an actual marathon.
Yeah, so this was based on a true story. I didn't realize that till the end of the film. And you see some clips of the actual Brittany doing the marathon. I was pretty impressed with this film. I found it pretty moving, and it's got some good laughs in it. It's not uproariously funny. Like it's a little bit more. It probably, I think it may be presented a little bit. I think the marketing is trying to make this look funnier than it really is.
Like look wacky,
right?
And it's not wacky.
It's not. This is really kind of like a character journey for Brittany, and you see her struggle with growth. And I was pretty impressed with this.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to it. I liked it a lot too. And I've never run a marathon. I've run several halves, and my husband's run several marathons. But like, it's a really transformative thing to set a goal for yourself like that, and then to achieve it. And the New York Marathon is so cool, and they capture that really nicely. Like they clearly
I
shot.
don't even want to drive a marathon. You couldn't, much less run
You
one.
drove a marathon to get down here today, did you not?
About it.
Did you not drive 26.2 miles to get here?
Exactly.
There's a lot of truth in a lot of ways here.
Here's the thing about the marathon, though. So, the story, right? Like,
what?
There's some battle at Marathon, and they won the battle. The Greeks won the battle. And so they sent a runner back to Athens, right? 26.2 miles.
Right.
And he runs all the way to Athens to deliver the news. And when he gets there and delivers the news, he drops dead.
But he got the news out.
Right, but I would think like...
He did his job.
Sure. I get it, but I would think like that everybody still run like no. The first guy that ran that far dropped dead. Like, why are we not taking that lesson? Like,
we can do it better. We as human beings,
that's terrible. Like,
we can do this.
Don't run that far. That guy died. He showed us. But no, we're going to keep running like to mock him.
He probably didn't train. He probably didn't hydrate sufficiently. So it can be done better. Anyway, I'm saying 8 for Brittany Runs a Marathon.
What did I say? 7.7.
So our number 7.9. It's at 91% on the tomato meter. And it opened last week in New York and LA, I want to say. But it is platforming. So in these doldrums of the end of the summer, there is good stuff to be found. around.
Philippides was the guy that he was the Greek soldier.
There you go. Oh, we should mention also Paul Downs Colaizzo wrote and directed this. So thank you for doing that. Brittany Runs a Marathon. It's good.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Okay, so now it's time for the spiel, for the Alonso spiel. Like us, rate us, tell your friends about us.
We are at BeFast All Day.
We are at BeFast All Day on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. We are at patreon.com all day /BeFast. Wait, patreon.com/BeFast all day. And we have extra content there like TV recaps and trailers.
This week we'll be doing some trailer recaps for some of the new trailers, including the new Star Wars footage that was released at D23.
Which is a whole lot of bullshit, by the way, because it's just like a minute of like previously on Star Wars. But we'll get to that.
Well, right, but
half of that trailer is just like clips of, oh, look, there's Yoda with a lightsaber. Oh, look, there's Anakin becoming Darth Vader.
Yeah, but there's some good stuff in the new thing.
We'll get to that.
Right.
Okay, so thanks for sticking around. Bye.